Hey everyone, this is Heidi from the blog Hands Occupied with another yarn tutorial for you today. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make cute little pom-poms using a fork. So in front of me here we have a fork, scissors, yarn, and then some other yarn made out of a stronger material. In this case, I'm using a linen yarn, but you can also use other string like baker's twine or fishing line, and I'll show you why you'll want two kinds of yarn in just a second. So we're going to start with our fork and this lovely purple yarn right here. We're going to find the end and begin wrapping the yarn around our fork. So to do that, we've got to hold the tail of the yarn in place with our thumb and just start wrapping. And we can wrap and wrap and wrap. And once you've got the end kind of locked in with your yarn, you don't have to hold it in place with your thumb anymore. So we'll keep wrapping. And one of the big secrets to success with any pom-pom is to use a lot of yarn so it's nice and dense. So I think that'll just about do it for a pom-pom of this size. Next, what we're going to do is cut our yarn like so. And we've got it all wrapped around our fork, nice and dense, almost like a really long piece of spaghetti. Next, we're going to take some of this other yarn that's a different material. So the reason we're using this yarn that's made out of linen is that it's a little bit sturdier than the yarn we're making the pom-pom with, and this is a great way to get a nice tight knot at the center of your pom-pom to help make it last and also look really good. So what we're going to do is thread this linen yarn through the middle of our fork right here, and then we're going to wrap it around the yarn all the way around like this, being careful not to slip the yarn off the end of the fork. Then we're going to tie a nice super tight knot around all of this yarn. So there's one knot, getting it about as tight as you can get it, and another one to secure. So I'm using what's called a square knot. So it's like the knot you would use when you're tying, like how you start tying your shoelaces. And we get that nice and tight. So that's a good place to start with that knot. And what I would actually do, since this yarn's really puffy, is wind the tails through the fork again and tie more knots on the other side, just to make sure everything is extra snug. So we've got that here. We're tying one more square knot. Nice and tight. There we go. And now you kind of have this butterfly effect where the center of the pom-pom is real tight in the middle and it poofs out around it. Then what we're going to do is slip the yarn off the end of our fork and just cut along where that yarn was folded. I recommend using a pretty sharp scissor and being careful to stay right in the middle of those fibers so your pom-pom stays even. Yeah, this is looking good. And then on the other side, we will do the same thing, trimming right down the middle. And when we trim down the middle there, our fibers open up into our pom-pom. But we're not quite done yet. So we've got our tails here and our pom-pom like so. But you'll notice this is kind of a little bit of a Muppet looking situation right now. So what we need to do is kind of squish the pom-pom around and then also give it a haircut to give it that nice round shape. So I'm just going to trim these loose ends with my scissor, and I'll trim these two, being careful to avoid my tails. And I think for the sake of demonstration, this will just about do it. One more little snip, and we've got ourselves a nice, tiny pom-pom made with a fork. And you can see what it looks like with this puffy roving style yarn versus this more traditional worsted weight yarn. So if you have any other tips or tricks for making your pom-poms be the best they can be, go ahead and let us know in the comments, and reach out there too if you have any questions. And don't forget to tune in again soon for more yarn tutorials.